Hey, y'all, welcome back to the podcast. Today I have a Zoom client. You've never done one-on-one, you've never done group, right? Is that right? I couldn't hear.
No.
No, okay. All right. So she's done some Zoom classes and she shared with me her THM journey. And when I asked for kind of like a review from the Zoom classes, and I was like, we need to hear from Julie. So Julie, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and we'll get into your THM journey too?
Yeah. My name is Julie and I am from East Texas. I am married for 5 years now. I've got a son who is 11 and a daughter who's 2. And we've got a dachshund named Charlie.
Oh.
And I work for a doctor who does hormone replacement therapy.
Yes.
I'm his receptionist in our office. And so those two things, it takes up a bit of my time.
Yes, for sure. Well, from personal experience, please tell your doctor thank you. And thank you for being, I'm sure, such excellent support staff because hormone pellets keep my world going round.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think I lost your video. Is that okay? There you are. There you are. Okay. So how long have you been working for him?
This fall will be 5 years.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. So tell us how you first found out about Term Healthy Mama.
So I actually found out through him. His wife and his daughter are both Trim Healthy Mamas. And so shortly after I started working there, I heard him talking about it. And then we went out for our company Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
And his wife was looking at the menu, trying to figure out what she could have. And I'm like, well, this is interesting. Eventually, after hearing them talk about it enough, I Googled it. I looked it up, started reading about it. I was interested, but very, very confused.
Mm-hmm.
Went to our local library and checked out one of the books and kind of read through it.
Yeah.
Still wasn't quite sure about it. And then I ended up getting pregnant with my daughter. So I kind of fell off that wagon. But then after I had her and it was time to lose that baby weight, I was like, check this out again. So it's been the best thing ever.
That's great. That's great. So tell us about what your journey looked like when you first started. Did you just jump all in or were you kind of like, I don't know?
Well, I was still trying to figure it out. I didn't want to go buy all the books and buy all these special ingredients if it wasn't something I could do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I started scouring Pinterest and Facebook and things like that. And that's when I came across you.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was right about, I think the first video I saw was when you and your girls went with JJ and her daughter to New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then I think that was also around the time where they released the food analyzer app.
Okay, yeah.
So that right there was a huge help. I downloaded that. I decided, okay, I'm going to take the foods I eat the most. I'm going to plug them into that app, see what they are, what they classify as, and then I'm going to make me a list. And so that's what I did. I separated it into columns. I printed that sucker out and put it on my fridge. And I said, okay, we're going to try this.
That's so smart. That's so smart.
So after that, I was all in. I said, I'm just going to do it. I bought the books. I ordered some stuff off the website. And I never looked back.
So what things did you buy first?
I started off with the protein powder. Mm-hmm. And one of the sweeteners. I think it was Gentle Sweet.
Okay. You got whey powder?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Do you still use both of those or have you like branched out and done all the things now?
I still just use the regular unflavored whey. I've not tried the creamy dreamy yet, but I'd like to.
Wow. Do you use collagen?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Girl, I love me some collagen.
The lecithin. Let's see. I love the hydrates. Those are wonderful. Have you
gotten the bulk mix yet?
Not yet.
Yeah. I have acquired all of them so far.
But what else? Oh, I have learned that I like super sweet better than the gentle sweet.
Yes, I do too.
Mm-hmm.
I do too. Now, when I bake, I do try to stay with whatever it calls for, just because baking THM is very tricky. And so I try not to sub too much when I'm baking. Now, oven and the skillet, a salad, a shake, it's a little more forgiving, but baking, a little tricky.
It takes some getting used to.
It does, for sure. For sure. Awesome. Awesome. So what does your family think about all this Trim Healthy Mama stuff?
Well, you know, my kids, my daughter, she's pretty good about eating whatever I eat. She can have, you know, the same thing on her plate, but if it's off my plate, it tastes better.
Yeah.
So she's not picky. My son, he's kind of set in his ways. He likes certain foods, but every once in a while he'll try something new. Mm-hmm. And there's like mostly our dinners, he'll pretty much eat without complaint. He loves my shakes, my secret shakes and stuff. Good. He'll eat desserts. But my husband, I really couldn't have done this without him, because he loves to cook. That's his passion, and he's always trying new things, and so he does the majority of the cooking in our home.
Well, lucky girl you are. That's awesome.
So again, printing out that list, putting it on the fridge, I told him, you know, put this with this and put this with this, and he really took the time and the effort to learn how to do it. And, he makes the majority of our meals to suit me, and it's wonderful.
That is wonderful. I'm so proud for you.
But he still likes his junk food too.
Yeah. Oh man, that's great. That's great. So, what does your normal day look like now? Like, with fueling and maybe some of your go-to meals?
Most of my breakfasts are going to be S, because they keep me fuller longer throughout the morning with work and stuff like that. I don't necessarily have time to stop and eat a snack. So I do a lot of eggs and sausage, or eggs and berries, that type of thing for breakfast. That's usually around 7 or 8 o'clock, somewhere in there. And then we usually take lunch around 12. So I think that puts me at about 3 to 4 hours between my meals. And lunch is usually just leftovers from the night before. So it could be an S or an E. Mm-hmm. If I don't have leftovers, then I usually grab something quick, like those egg waff wraps and turkey.
Yes.
And I have always hated bell peppers. Can't stand. But I always watch you eat those little sweet mini peppers. And I'm like, I really need to give those a try. So I bought some and I started nibbling on them. And the more I ate them, the more I got used to them. And now that's kind of one of my go-tos when I need a vegetable and I need something quick.
Oh, yay. That's great. You're so welcome. Speaking of the sweet peppers, I have not done this in a while, but have you ever made the Hello Health sipper? It has the peppers in the drink.
Yes. My husband got sick a couple months ago, and I tried to make it for him, and he's like, I'm not drinking that. And I was actually very pleasantly surprised by how much I liked it.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. For me, that's more of a summery drink. I don't know why, but I just put it in that category. It's very good.
Yeah,
very good.
It was
good.
Awesome. So that's lunch. We usually have an early dinner. He generally has dinner ready by the time I get home, around 5 o'clock. So that puts me again at like 4 hours. Dinner could be an S or an E, just kind of on what he's got going. If I know dinner's going to be later, I usually try to have like a 2 Good yogurt, just to kind of hold me over. But then in the evenings before bed, between 9 and 10 o'clock, I'm hungry again after an early. So that's always going to be an on-plan snack, but it may end up being a crossover. Which is kind of up in the air. It's kind of whatever I'm craving. So,
well, are you at goal weight?
I am.
Good. And you enjoy that. You're below goal weight.
Yeah.
Aren't you hot stuff? I love that. Congratulations.
Yeah. I want 140. That was my goal. And I kind of fluctuate between like 136 and 139. So
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mine fluctuates too. 129, 135 is about what mine does. I don't weigh very often just because I know how, like I can walk by the mirror and know if I'm on track or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm pretty good. That's amazing. So tell us about your progress. Where did you start? Even go into, I want to hear like how you felt, what your life looked like and your progression and how you're doing now.
I've always been a fairly healthy eater. Like I love my fruits and vegetables. That's not a problem. We did used to eat quite a bit of fast food.
Mm-hmm.
Ice cream was my weakness.
Mm-hmm. I feel ya.
It's not good. So I never really felt terrible. But after having my daughter, I had all that extra weight. I did not feel good about myself.
Right.
My clothes fit, that kind of thing. So kind of in that frame of mind of, okay, I'm too young for this. I need to get back on track, back at a healthy weight while I can before it gets more difficult, as I get older. So I think I was weighing around 175 to 180 when it started. And I started January of 2020. How
tall are you?
5'6".
Oh, T 5'6". I'm like 5'2". I'm so short.
Fairly average.
Yes.
So, but slowly throughout the year, I think I was losing about a pound a week.
Mm-hmm.
I lost that initial 20 pounds fairly quickly. And then I kind of stalled out a little bit, which wasn't a big deal. I was back to fitting in some smaller size clothes, had to go do some shopping. But then, I just kind of stuck with it. I was pretty strict. I'm usually about 95% on plan. And so it just slowly continued to drop a few more pounds here and there throughout the year. But I do feel better. I do sleep better at night. I do have more energy to get things done when I get home from most days. And I can tell the biggest difference when I do go off plan. Not so much with like breads and things like that. They do kind of upset my stomach a little bit and I feel more bloated and swollen the next day. But what I really see is when I try to have like an off-plan dessert
mm-hmm.
or something like that. Immediately after that, within like 5 minutes, I am nauseous and I've got the worst headache.
Yep, me too.
So that really shows me right there, okay, getting that out of your system.
Yeah. So I was going to ask when you went off plan, what it was that you chose. So it would be a dessert or bread.
Yeah, usually not dessert, not because of the way it makes me feel. I've gotten over the whole soda thing.
Good.
I have a Zevia here and there to help with that craving.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes when we go out, depending on where we are, I can usually get a burger without a bun, but some restaurants have really good buns. And I feel like, I've been on plan all week. It's okay to have a treat, but I don't do it often.
Do you do fries?
I do a few here and there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I was, before I did the 100 days on plan last year, that was something I would have every now and then. And I broke that habit. Also, I have been going less and less places. However, we're leaving, the day this airs will be the day that we're traveling to Kentucky. So we'll see. I'm going to do my very best. It has been really difficult to find time to get prepared for this trip food wise. I do have my clothes packed and that's about as far as I've gotten so far. And those of you listening, this is Friday morning early before the trip. But anyway, I'm hoping that I can make really good decisions. And do you ever I do this. I announce to my family, I'm going to be on plan. Y'all help me out here in this situation. Do you ever do that?
Yeah. And they're usually pretty good. Like if I'm, they're like, no, you don't want to do that.
That's right. Yeah. Lily is the best because she's like, Mama, you do not want to have that. That is not who you are. I'm like, you're right. Thank you. Little moment of weakness and getting corrected by the 15-year-old. Oh my goodness. So funny. Yeah. Very good.
We don't go out to eat much. just especially with a toddler, it's easier to. But with the way things have been around here lately, a lot of our restaurants are shorthanded. So go out to eat, it's crowded, it takes forever, the quality of the food's not that good anymore. So it's really easier just to cook at home. But like if we're going on a date night, you know, I'll tell my husband, hey, I want my meal to be on plan. You know, if you get a dessert, I might take a bite just to try it. But I do allow myself every now and then to get a cocktail that's not on plan. And I'll tell him I've won. And and so that's what we stick to. And
I love that. I call that grace with boundaries in my journey. And I think I love that you have a great relationship with your husband with THM. I do too. And so, you know, you can communicate that well with him. That's precious. I love that. So I forgot to ask, and you may have said it in the beginning, but how old are you?
I am 34.
34. Okay.
July.
Okay. Very good. All right. That was just my question. What about exercise?
So 2021 was going to be my year of weight loss. And so I finally got to my goal weight. And so 2022 was going to be my year of exercise. But that's not gotten off to a great start so far. But it's still early in the year.
It is. It's still, well, it's tracking down, Julie, tracking down. It's almost into March. Come on now. So what is it that you want to do? Like what, if you could just say, I'm going to do that, what would your choice be?
I'm not real big on cardio. I'm not a runner. I love yoga and things like that. I just don't have time to fit it into my schedule to make it to any of the classes. But I bought the work-ins and I've done those here and there, just not consistently like I would like to. But I would love to be able to get on the schedule where I can do those consistently throughout the week. And then we live right down the road from a park. And when it's pretty weather, we love to just get out there and walk around and things like that. So I'll do that more so in the spring and in the summer before it gets really hot. But I don't consistently yet.
You know, I found with my one-on-ones, because I work, you know, more closely with them. That's the way it works, right? But they, you know, I'm like, okay, when we're talking, what is your goal for working out and when are you going to do it? And they'll be like, okay, thinking about my schedule, I can do it Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And what I have them do is text me on Tuesday when they get done, you know, did my work in or whatever. And remember, work-ins are only 20 minutes, but if you don't have 20 minutes, just do 10 minutes of it. I mean, it's more than you did yesterday. So I just want to encourage you in that.
Squeeze in.
Yes. You can do it though. But I love that park is so close. That's awesome. I love that so much. So being busy with your family and work, what do you do to take care of yourself besides being on plan with THM? Do you take time to read, do things without the kids every now and then? I love that y'all go on date nights. That's nice. Yeah.
So date nights, we like to travel. We've not really gone anywhere alone without the baby so far, but I mean she's 2. She's getting to the point where we can start to leave her alone for longer periods of time. So we will eventually go on a trip by ourselves, just me and my husband. But I'm not one to like get my hair and nails done. I don't shop much. I don't go to the gym. I don't really a whole lot of time to myself, but I do enjoy my coffee. And sometimes it's able to bed and drink my coffee and let my husband take care of the kids for a little bit. But really,
that's stellar.
That is the way I take that time for myself, my prepping and that kind of thing. That's my me time.
I think that's great. I think that's a really good perspective, because a lot of times I think women in general with society, they think it has to be just like you said, the hair and nails and stuff. Now I love my CrossFit time, but I only go twice a week. But you know, my kids have gotten older. It's easier for me to do things like that. And you'll get there. But oh my golly, I love that. You're taking care of yourself by preparing. You're helping your future self, right? But yes, coffee in bed while the man takes care of the babies that's where it's at. Because like Wes will be like, do you want to go on a date? And I'm like, can we just stay home? Like, can we just lock our door and watch a movie and the kids no, not to bother us. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm totally cool with that, you know?
Yes.
Our nearest, like, the only thing to do around here would be to go to Walmart, to be honest. There's nothing else to do. So
But
although a date at Walmart is very nice.
that our date nights have turned into. The other day we went to dinner, and when we were done, we were like, now what do we do?
Uh-huh.
So we went and walked around Lowe's, and we went and walked around Sam's.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
we are definitely living the same life.
30s.
So fun. I do love Sam's.
For my living room. So
say it again.
I got a new rug for my living room.
Oh, yay.
So it worked out well.
That's great. That's great. So what are some of your favorite recipes out of the cookbooks?
Right now, I love the Lazy Lasagna.
Okay.
That's from Trim Healthy Cookbook. That one is so good. I don't know why I waited so long to make it. The chicken fried double rice is a good one. Mm-hmm. And the whole family loves that one. And we can eat on it for days. It makes a lot.
It does.
I love the secret shakes. I have one of those just about every day. And the chocolate cherry shake. I love putting okra in that one too.
Oh, me too. Oh, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use the cherry extract in that?
I don't.
You need to. Self-care. Buy the extract next time you order.
That's not one I bought, but
so good.
It tastes just good without it, but I'm sure it takes it to the next level.
It does.
As far as desserts go, I like the brownie cheesecake.
From THM. Yeah.
That one's so good.
It is good. I love that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what other ones. I'll make recipes from the book here and there. Like the blackened fish tacos. I think that's one we like. Mm-hmm. The chicken one with the black beans and the mango.
Yes.
That one's really good. But a lot of our meals just kind of consist of my husband grilling. He loves to grill. So whatever meat he grills and then putting vegetables with it. So
yeah, perfect. I love that. You know, I'm all about, you do not have to cook out of the cookbook for everything that goes in your mouth. Like, oh my gosh, free yourself of that is so great. And like with the chocolate covered cherry shake, like I don't even, if I said I'm going to go make that, I wouldn't even pull out the cookbook. Like, you know, I'm getting a protein. I'm going to get unsweetened almond milk. I'm going to get the cherries. I'm going to get the sweetener and my extract. I don't even know what else goes in it, to be honest. That's what I do. And a handful of okra usually. So once you start getting habits with things like that, it's not as overwhelming. I remember when I first started THM and I'm like, I'm going to make a shake. And 30 minutes later, I'm still going, it takes a minute.
I know, because you have to pull everything out and then you just have all this stuff, all these ingredients, but prepping those powders and stuff ahead of time and having, you know, most of that together and ready to go. Mm-hmm. So you dump it in and blend it. Yeah.
And so those things that you like the most, those are the ones I think you should prep a few times. Yesterday in Bloom's, we went live in the kitchen and I did, there's a chocolate skinny chip muffin or something. And from THC, it's a single serve. And so I made one with them. I just put it in the microwave 15 seconds, and you had a chocolate chip muffin. It was very tasty. And I prepped the dry ingredients for that. And I think all you add is an egg and some water. And then on those single serve muffin in a mug things, I put the butter or coconut oil after it's cooked. I like it on top. And so all you have to do is add water and an egg. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, you just dump the stuff. It's great. So I love prepping things like that. I had a woman email me one time and she said, I hear that you would be a really good coach for me because you meal prep. And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't meal prep. I said, I meal plan and then I prep dry ingredients to things that I enjoy. She went, yeah, that. It was so funny. I was like, okay, if you want to call that meal prep, fine, that's fine. Oh my goodness. So I want to go back to when you said that you hit a stall, but it was fine. You were like, oh, it's okay. So what made you feel like that? Because the majority of women that I see hit a stall and lose it, and they get discouraged and they quit, or they just, it takes a long time to get back on track because that hurts them so much. So how are you able to push through that?
I know it's not all about the number on the scale. I know that very well. I know that there's so many things that go into what that scale says, and
that's right.
Can't always listen to it because it's not always accurate. With that being said, I'm still one of those who would weigh myself every single day.
Just to know.
Yeah. And even now, like once I hit goal weight and stuff like that, I still weigh myself once a week just because I want to see where I'm at. It's just out of curiosity. But even though the scale wasn't moving anymore, my clothes were fitting. I was still realizing that things were bigger and I needed to go down another size. I still felt better. I didn't ever measure myself, so I don't know, what those numbers were, but I could just tell by my clothes.
Yeah. So what size did you start at?
My tops were a medium, large. My bottoms were large. And now I'm down to an extra small top and a smaller medium and certain bottoms.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Like I wear scrubs pretty much every day. So my scrubs and the bottoms were larges. And then just recently I got to go buy an extra small top and small bottoms.
That's exciting.
What the scale says. My sizes are, that's amazing. I didn't think I'd ever get back into a small, much less an extra small.
That's great. I love that so much. Oh, I'm so proud of you. That's great.
Thanks.
So talk about the Zoom classes just for a minute, because I love them. Like I never thought that I did it to meet a need for people that maybe didn't need, like you don't really need a coach to look at everything. You don't need a group necessarily for accountability, but wanted to learn here and there.
Yeah.
And then also for people that are on a budget, because once I get through with my little talk, Julie could come on and ask a question specifically for her journey and I can answer it. So for $10, you can ask a coach a question,
Yeah. So I think there at the beginning, my Wi-Fi was cutting in and out, so I didn't hear everything you said. I know you did ask me if I've ever done a group before, and I said no, but I'm not sure what else you said there. I did do the Trimtastic holiday during the holidays.
Okay.
Guys, and I loved that. That was great for accountability. But like you said, I don't necessarily need someone there every day looking at every meal and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So then with the Zoom classes, like you said, those are wonderful because they're on a smaller scale. I can pick the topic that suits me, of what I'm needing help with right now. And like you said there at the end, you open up the floor, and if I've got a certain question to ask you, I can. And absolutely, that's worth $10. Taking that hour of my evening to myself to help me along my journey and to get to talk to you face to face, totally worth it. And very helpful.
Yeah. And then others, like when Julie asks a question, it might spur somebody, they might have just been sitting there going, I don't know what to ask, but then they're like, oh yes, let me ask this. And it becomes a conversation, and it's so good. You never know. I never know what is going to be asked. And I love that. That's kind of my favorite is, it's a little challenge for me to be on top of my game and ready to help you guys as much as I can, for sure.
Yeah. But you always have an answer. And if you don't, you say, I'll look it up. I'll get back to you on that. So
yeah. That's good. Do you keep the replays and watch them?
Yes.
Do you really? I love that. You can speed watch. You can speed up did you know you can do that?
Yeah.
Don't ever forget that. Watch it fast. Or listen fast, whatever. I listened to a couple of them when I was driving the other day. And I just like to kind of self-critique, because I always want to do better. So that was pretty interesting. Yeah. I wasn't always in a place that I could do that, but I'm there now because I want to do best for y'all, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all the posts you put on Facebook, your cooking videos on YouTube, your podcast, you do all kinds of things where, you do that for free. You take your time to do that for us, and it's wonderful. And it's been a huge help.
Well, I'm so glad.
My mom She's following you too.
Really? What's her name?
Janet Ross.
Janet
She's like,
Ross.
She's like, did you see what Coach Amy posted earlier?
Oh,
So you've been a big help for her too.
That makes my heart happy.
She's not completely on plan. She still doesn't 100% know it. She hasn't wrapped, her brain around it yet, but she has the basic ideas. She is doing better, and she's lost quite a bit of weight, just kind of, halfway doing it. And she said she's back down to a size she hasn't been in, or a weight she hasn't been in over 8 years.
Awesome. Tell her I said gold star. That's awesome. I'm so proud. So proud. That's awesome. I didn't realize that you did Trimtastic Holiday. That was a ginormous group, but I feel like we handled it well. When y'all had questions, we were there for you. But it was a accountability, and here's a bunch of information, and we love you so much. It was one of those.
Not go off plan at all for Thanksgiving.
That's incredible.
The holidays. I stayed on all the way through, and it was great.
I'm so proud of you. That's incredible. I don't think I've ever, I think every season of holiday since I've started THM, I would choose at least once to have something off planned. Now I will say it probably wasn't a big of a portion as it would have been before THM, but this year I was 100%, and I was okay with it. Like it was fine. Girl, I had overnight cinnamon squares and had glazed crumb cake, and I had I don't even know what chocolate. I know I made something chocolatey, some cookies or something. But anyway, I mean, like, the Guilt Gone chocolate chips probably. But I mean,
yeah,
it's fine.
I don't feel deprived at all.
No, that's so awesome. All right, well, we are getting close to being done. Do you have anything that you would like to share with the listeners just to encourage them?
If you're new, keep it simple. There's so many times we just go buy a rotisserie chicken and steamable, microwavable veggies.
Yes.
So easy.
Yes.
Complicated.
Amen.
Definitely get the Food Analyzer app. Download that and use it because it's a great tool. Really helps to keep things straightened out. And even the Journey app, I love that. Mm-hmm. Every single meal, everything that goes in my mouth goes on that app. And I love watching what the other girls do and getting ideas from them. So that's great.
Thank you. Can you tell them what your handle, username, whatever it is, so they can follow you? Do you know?
Just Julie Butler.
Okay. Julie Butler. Thank you. So they can look you up and follow you.
Yeah.
I struggle with the Journey app because I'm using 8 app and then I'm putting stuff on social media, and that's just one other place. I tried really hard, and yesterday I was like, I haven't posted all week in Journey. Oops.
Yep. I'll see you post stuff every now and then, just kind of random stuff. But
bless my heart.
Like I said, if you're on a budget, I mean, I think it was like what, $8 for that app?
Yeah, forever.
Yeah. And so, but it's great. There's so many people on there that will comment, and you can ask questions. And, if you're not sure about a meal, you put it on there and you're like, I don't know if this takes me into crossover, or, if I hit the carb limit or whatever. Mm-hmm. And people comment and they'll tell you, and it's mm-hmm. wonderful. So
that's awesome. Do you follow Pearl?
I do.
Yeah. She hasn't posted much. Like I maybe, this week maybe, but I think she's a lot like me. It's like, oh, I forgot.
I think it's mainly breakfast, her oatmeal or
uh-huh. Yeah.
But for those that have been doing it for a while, that maybe if they have hit a stall, don't worry about that still, and don't give up. No. Just keep, your body, everybody's body is different. It might take yours a little bit longer. Your stall may be longer than you want it to be, but again, it's not about losing weight. It's about how you feel, eating on plan, and being healthy. And especially, I feel like I'm setting a great example for my kids.
That's right.
And, when I make better choices, so do they. So
that's right. I have a little thought that came about in the last month. Make THM non-negotiable. Is THM non-negotiable? Is that your go-to? And that happened out of a client that was sharing with me something that she kind of took from her counseling session. And she said, because I see you, Amy, as a person that THM is non-negotiable. You're just going to be on plan. That day, I was taking calls from my bed because I had a UTI and I did not feel well. And it was more comfortable for me to work from my bed. And so she was like, and she knew that I was not feeling well. She said, you're not feeling well. Have you even considered going off plan? And I was like, no. She goes, that's what I want. It's non-negotiable. It just doesn't. I go to a restaurant and I'm like, okay, what can I have on plan? And I won't say that it was always that way, but I'm very grateful that it is that way now, that I've made it a habit. And I think you have to.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's just a decision you have to make. You have to say, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. Yeah. And it's a daily decision, but eventually it just becomes a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's the whole point. That's right. That's right. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us and, encouraging the ladies. This was really good. And hopefully you'll get some new followers on the Journey app.
Yeah. I love looking at everybody's meals. Some of these ladies are so creative and they put stuff together that I never would have thought to do. And I'm like, I need to go try that. And then I find a new
screenshot palooza, huh? I love it.
That you asking me on. This was so much fun.
You're so welcome.
Like, oh, seriously? Is this real? And I did. I called my mom. I said, Mom, Coach Amy wants me on her podcast. She's like, really?
Oh, of course. I'm so proud of you. And I knew you would have great things to tell everybody. So definitely wanted to share your story. You are so welcome. Well, thank you so much for taking time to do this. Tell everybody bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.